If you look at what we kind of did, right? Again, let's just rewind, right? Let's just rewind. Let's look at my 15-minute chart. Okay. Every 15-minute candle has been green. Okay. We broke over yesterday's highs, 165. Okay. We traveled all the way into 18,291. Look at what we did at 291. We got over it. We came back down. We got over it. We came back down. Finally, when we confirmed a new high over 308, let's call it 310, it just shot up to the top of my range. Now my ranges here, the levels are accurate. So like 18,291, 17,992, these are accurate, right? My ranges, which are the green boxes, I have 60-point ranges just to kind of give me something to work with, right? Like if I'm in this range, I'm not really looking to do much, right? Like I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to reverse it if we're still in the range, right? Because I understand, market can travel. And basically what I'm getting at is I use like a 15-minute or a 30-minute ATR, which for me, 15-minute ATR right now is 43 points. If I was to look at a 30-minute ATR, we are looking at 57 points. Okay. What does that mean? Average true range. So if I just kind of create these zones about a 30-minute ATR, right? Around a 30-minute ATR, I know that, if we get into some consolidation, if there's some pullbacks or something, not to really stress out, right? Like I would want to get outside the range, come back to the range, hold it, and then push and confirm the previous swing high to go long. Same thing if I'm going to look for a short, if I'm in this range, right? If I'm in the range and I see like a doji candle or I see an inverse hammer candle at supply and then we fall out of supply, I can then use a previous swing high as a stop and then short. So patience is going to pay tremendously in this journey that we are all on of trading, okay? I think we all understand that. We all kind of understand that if we were more patient and more disciplined, we'd have less setbacks, right? Easier said than done, okay? It's obviously easier said than done. Once we get into the live markets and the price action's moving, going up and down, we tend to kind of chase positions. We tend to, enter early, exit early, hold too long, but patience pays. Okay, so let me give you guys a little bit of a theory here. Okay, something for you guys to kind of think about. If we have a key level at 18,291, okay, 18,291, if that's a key level, being that it's trading above us, that would be considered supply. Okay, supply, just another word for resistance. Supply and resistance, just another word for sellers. Okay. So if buyers, right, are approaching supply and we break that key level, 18,291, we put in a high, which was right here at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We put in a high. Okay, you see that, how we put in this high? Well, buyers basically broke through this first wave of sellers. Okay, here's where patience comes involved. If you were just patient to wait for any type of pullback, wait for any type of consolidation, wait for anything at all, and allow the buyers off the pullback here, right, these two candles, to confirm the high wick that broke over 291 and get long over 305, 310, you could have essentially taken this for 40 points to the top of the zone. Now, I wouldn't have held it outside of the zone because remember, if I'm using for my zones a 130-minute ATR, right, on my green boxes, these are my zones at my key levels, I don't really expect us to, shoot out and just keep going. It can happen, but again, I have to be mindful. I'm just looking for, let's confirm over 305, 310. Let's ride this into the top of the zone, which is 350. That's a 30 to 40 point move. I'll be happy with that. Okay. But patience would have got you that trade. Now, if you're a trader who, let's say at 18,291, you're like, okay, we're trading over. And let's say you're looking at a small time frame, like a 1 minute, a 2 minute, a 5 minute, and you get a closure over that 18,291, you jump in long on the first break and then it pulls pulls all the way back to 240, right? That's a 50-point pullback. Not a lot of you guys are going to be able to stomach that, right? Because potentially this can continue to pull all the way back to previous day highs, right? So being overzealous, being, having FOMO, wanting to make money right now, gets you into these problems where you're at a key level, you break the key level, you jump in long, it pulls back 50 points, you get stopped out, and then only to look at it, rise 60, 70 points, right? So patience, allow it to break a key level, allow it to consolidate, allow it to pull back, allow it to do whatever it wants to do, but allow it to take out that new high over your key level. So if 18,291 is the pivot, allow the pivot to get broken, okay? Whatever that new high is over the pivot, allow it to get confirmed, and then you go, right? Then you go. So again, my thought process here on the short was, again, let's go into a 2-minute time frame. Once we broke out, right? And we just went over that long trade. But once I see this trade to the top of my 60-point range, and we broke out of my 60-point range, right? I started to notice these wicks, right? A lot of doji candles. Look at how small and insignificant these candles are between 8:05 Pacific Standard Time and 8:20 Pacific Standard Time. Look at how small the ranges got. Look at how there's a wick on this side, wick on this side. Inverse hammer candle here, doji candle here, right? Not like this candle. It's not like this candle. It's not like this candle, right? So I'm noticing buyers getting a little tired. Does it mean that the market's going to sell off 500 points today? No. It just means that buyers are getting a little tired, and we haven't, little profit taking going on up here. And we've broken out of the range. We've reconfirmed a key level. We've yet to backtest prior day highs. We've yet to backtest our key level of 18,291, although we can make a case that we did backtest it here at 750. We did break and then we did backtest. So this is a break and retest. But we haven't really spent any time consolidating. It was just a quick break, retest, and then go. We haven't spent any time consolidating here and building an actual floor. Okay. So what I thought was, I can get short anywhere up here, right? Outside of my range. I can use the high of day as a stop, over 386. Very easy, right? What am I giving up? 15 points? And I could try to just ride this down. Now, stupid me, I had a stupid take profit bracket for 10 points and it got filled. If it wasn't filled, I would still be in this trade short, but it is what it is. That's why I don't use brackets. But for whatever reason on my phone, I've still got that bracket on there. I don't know why. I guess the way I look at it is, if I'm taking a trade off my phone, the last thing I want to have happen is for me to be stuck in a trade and can't get out of it, or I lose Wi-Fi or something. And so those brackets are put there to protect me, but I was pretty confident in this short just due to the fact that, prior to the previous 15-minute candle, there was not one single red candle close, meaning not one 15-minute candle close below a prior candle until here. Look at what just happened. Broke through our zone, selling pressure up here. I think some profit taking going on up in this range. Finally got a red candle close. All you're looking for now is to play back into the middle or lower half of this range. Get short below a prior candle low. Does that make sense? But patience is what's going to get you there, right? Patience is what's going to get you there. A lot of times traders see a new high and they say, oh, I'm going to short this. Oh, a new high, I'm going to short this. Oh, we just broke out of the range, I got to short this. You got to wait for a setup. Yeah, that's great. It's great that, we didn't have any pullbacks yet. A pullback is coming, right? Me and Drac were talking about it in the indices channel. A pullback is coming, right? The market's not going to go straight up. It's not going to go straight up. Whether the pullback is 100 points or the pullback is 50 points. I think all of us know that you're going to get at least one red candle. you're going to get at least a little bit of consolidation, right? The thing is when is it going to happen, right? So that's where the patience comes involved, where now you have to wait for something to happen. We see the scenario. Now we need to wait for the instance. Does that make sense? So, and I've been having a lot of fun, actually, a lot of fun trading the past month. Didn't have a lot of fun trading in the month of February. You know, full transparency, February was the first month in about 10 to 12 months that I did not take a payout from a prop firm. February of 2025 was the first month in about 12 months that I did not take a payout. It was very hard for me in February. That's when the drop started. That's when the VIX spiked, volatility increased. My, scalping methods of taking 5 points, but, trying to limit that negative risk to reward ratio of 10 to 15 point stop losses were getting absolutely destroyed. So, I made a lot of comments about it, in the end of February, early March, that, my win rate percentage was down from about 80% to high 60s, which is a big blow, especially when you're scalping a negative risk to reward ratio. Like, I really need to be over 75% to make it work. And again, there's got to be adjustments that need to be made. And that was tough for me when you go 12 months, essentially every single month, at least taking a couple of payouts to not taking no payouts from a prop firm. It's a big deal, right? It's a big deal. Now, again, all of my income does not rely on prop firms. I have a long-term portfolio. I day trade options daily. A lot of you guys don't day trade options or day trade equities or stocks. I don't really talk about it a lot, but on a day-to-day basis, I'm in and out of these swing trades. I'm day trading key levels on Tesla, Nvidia, and stuff like that. That's where the majority of my income comes from. But, so when I was scalping a lot, okay, and there was days where I was taking between 10 and 20 trades a day, 15 and 20 trades a day. One, I was not copy trading, right? Guys were pulling back into 18,291. So that's our key level. When you are not copy trading and you are trying to, for example, make $200, but I have 13, 14 accounts, 12 accounts running at any time, right? Funded accounts. Essentially, even if I fired one trade on all 12 to 14 accounts, whatever I have at that specific time, I've got to look and find 12 to 14 different setups. And the problem with that is that we know that this is a probabilities-based business where I'm not going to find 12 winning trades in a row. Okay? We know that. What are the odds that you're going to win 12 trades in a row? Especially when you're scalping for small size. It's almost slim to none. So what the problem that was happening was I was taking a few trades on a few different accounts and finding some winners and then not really getting around to trading the rest of my accounts, or taking an early loss on one of those accounts and then wanting to stay in that same account to continue to trade it and then not getting around to the rest of the accounts. So it was creating a lot of stress. And stress is the trader killer, regardless if it's personal stress outside of the charts and you bring that into, guys, we're getting below this 291 here. If we bounce, let me give you an example before I finish this story. If we bounce, right, if let's say we sweep and we bounce a little bit, but we fail to come out of this zone and fail to break out this previous swing high and we start to lose the low, you're going to have a little bit of a short opportunity here. How much I would want to short it, not sure. Maybe more think scalp, but what I would like to see would be a little bit of a bounce first. A little bit of a bounce that does not take out a previous 15-minute high. So I don't really care how high it goes up. I just want to see a bounce. I want to see a rejection, maybe somewhere in this zone, and then I want to lose 291 again. If that happens, I think you'll have a good opportunity to take a short. Remember, I would love, there's 15 minutes into lunchtime. I would love for this candle to consolidate over 290. And then during lunch, we lose, what is this? 287. I would love for that. That would be A plus for me. Again, it might not happen. This thing might go now, but that would be A plus for me. If we just confirm 287 now, I would treat it more so as a scalp. 10 points, 15 points, if you can get it. And then any closure over 291, just get out of the trade. Okay. But, back to what I was saying, stress is a big trader killer, right? It devastates a lot of people, and stress can come in many different forms. It can come, personal life stress, relationship stress, 9 to 5 stress, health stress, trading stress, right? So when you're under stress as a trader, you tend to make decisions that are not in your best interest. And when your brain, like, we can only focus for so long, right? Like, to be honest, I've taken about 3 trades. All of them were long, except for that last baby short that I took off the top. So that's 4 trades. I'm under no stress, but to be honest, I'm mentally taxed already. And I didn't put on a whole lot of trades, but the reason why I'm mentally taxed is because so much work and research into these levels and waiting, right? Which we have to control that anxiety. We have to control those emotions, that adrenaline, whatever is going on, the chemicals in our brain that are being released when we're watching the candlesticks in real time off the open. There's a lot of, anticipation, right? So your brain is naturally dealing with those chemicals, right? And the longer you put your brain and your body under stress of dealing with the ups and the downs and the adrenaline and the emotions and the happiness and the anger. Again, I mean, I've been trading 13 years. I lose a trade, I still get pissed off. The only difference is that now I let it go, where I don't just, fire back with my entire account on the next trade, right? That's what I've learned. Don't be an idiot. But trading these key levels and trading smaller size has taken, almost virtually all the stress off of my trading, because I don't feel like I'm stocking these small candlesticks and trying to take 50 trades a day, right? Where I'm trying to get in and out for 5-10 points on the dot every minute, right? Like, I'm waiting a lot more for these levels to be broken. I'm waiting for, things to show me that it's holding, or things, price to show me that it's staying under. And I'm not so precise right now on where I'm getting in at, versus when I was scalping for 5 and 10 points. If the fucking level was 18,291, well, I better be in by 292, or else I'm toast. Because if it goes up 4 points and I'm in a point late and I'm looking for a 5-point take profit and it pulls back 15 points, guess what? I'm stopped out, right? Versus how I'm trading right now is, for example, this morning, off the open, we pulled back, and it's exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see a pullback, I wanted to see a hold, and then I wanted to see a break. When we pulled back into this 20 SMA and we started to rise again, right? And we started to take out that previous pre-market high point. I was looking at the 18,165. I jumped in here a little early, right? I'm like, I'm gonna get out if we lose the bottom of this range, and that's 65 points. But if I'm trading, entering into this position on 1 micro to start, 65 points is about $130. I could stomach that. I was losing $250 in a blink of an eye when I was trading 2 mini contracts. And then as soon as we got over 165, I fired another micro. And then as soon as we started to push up again, I fired another micro. So I got into a total of 3 micros on this push up higher here. And this closed at a price of 18,214, right? So we're talking about over 50 points here. I didn't capture all 50 points because obviously my entries were a little different. And, I sold out as it was continuing to rise. but it was, you know, I posted it was $196 trade, which I'm happy with, right? I did have 4 accounts that I was group trading, so that's about a $750 day, you know, on funded accounts, which to me is a fantastic day. And as long as I can keep on, you know, walking away with that, you know, I'm gonna get paid out. And I don't really necessarily have to worry about I've got to be in at a price of 18,157.5, right? Because if I'm not, I'm going to run the risk of losing a trade. It doesn't really matter. You know, I can see the level here. I can see that this trade would be technically damaged if I got below my 20. And I could see that this trade would be technically damaged if it touched 165 and got rejected and came back down. Okay. So that's been taking a lot of stress off of my trading, and it's allowed me to trade a little bit more freely, and it's allowed for a lot more consistency, to be honest. This is doing exactly what I want to see it do. This is doing exactly what I want to see it do. I want to see a lower high be put in here, and I would like to get below 18,287 at lunch. If that happens, I'm open to taking another trade. But again, I'm not going to stress it. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Right? Because right now, let's look at the big picture. This is a break over 18,291. This is a retest of 291. So this is good for the bulls. Break, retest, hold, consolidate, and then push up higher through that previous swing high of 388. And then let's continue this long. Right? But if it loses 287, there's going to be some opportunity here. The thing I realized with the scalping is, and this is what's, you know, what I had to really take a step back and understand too, is that there's some people who can do it, and I definitely can do it. I did it for, you know, many years now in the futures market. But what I realized in translation to trying to teach others, it was extremely difficult, because there were situations where, let's say there would be an active setup for a scalp and I would let it go and people would take that same trade and lose 25 points. Or there would be a trade where I took, nobody else seen it, and then it's kind of like the next setup maybe didn't work for as many points, right? A lot of scalping is very intuition based. A lot of scalping is very experience based, and it's definitely feel. Like if I get into a trade and it goes up 4 points, 5 points, 6 points, 10 points, and then it comes back down 7 points in the profit, 4 points in the profit, 5 points in the profit, 4 points in the profit. At that point in time, I can feel that it's not going to sustain its move. I've got to get out at 4 points to take profit. Versus someone who had a, let's say, a 15 or 20 point stop loss and a 10 point take profit. Their take profit didn't get hit. They're sitting in a trade. They take a full 25 point loss. Meanwhile, I'm locking up $80 or $120 on a couple of mini contracts because I just got out. It's a lot of intuition based. And I realized that a lot of people do not like to take 1 or 2 trades, scalps, and walk away. They will take 1 or 2 scalps, they will make money, and they will continue to sit there because as a human, we feel that we're going to continue to make more money. And we feel that because we have a strategy, we can just sit here and pick off trades all day long. And the more trades we pick off, the more money we're going to make. Versus where I was at with my scalping was, if I took a scalp this morning on 2 or 3 minis through 165 and I made 10, 15 points, 10, 12 points on 2 or 3 minis, well, that's going to be $500 to $600. 1000% I'm done trading on the day. My work day is done in less than 15 minutes, less than 10 minutes, right? Where the average trader is going to take those trades, make some cash, and they're going to still continue to trade. And maybe that next trade that they took loses, or maybe the range and the volatility was too expanded, and because there was a negative risk to reward, it triggered a loss that was far greater than the win because they didn't walk away, they were still trading, and then it caused an emotional roller coaster to continue to trade. So what I realized is if I sit in my cave and I don't communicate with anyone, and I don't do this community, I don't do nothing like that, a lot of my work would be done in 15, 20, 30 minutes of the day every day, because I would just take a scalp, and if it works, great, I walk away. But that's very hard to teach, because if we found one setup and 10 minutes later there's another setup based on our strategy, why wouldn't we take it? And if 30 minutes later there's another setup, why wouldn't we take it? And if 2 hours later there's another setup, why wouldn't we take it, right? Because scalpers tend to think very mechanical based, where, hey, setup, take the setup, deal with the odds, deal with the probabilities. But a lot of times it's a big intuition. Like if you win one or two trades in, scalping, you're almost better off walking away. And that was the only way that I can hold a high win rate percentage and be profitable with the negative risk to reward ratio. Over the long term, sure, if I was to sit there and take 20 trades a day, every single setup at a negative risk to reward ratio, I probably wasn't going to be profitable. The only thing that made me profitable and to be able to take payouts trading that way was to walk away when I had one or two winning trades or three winning trades. Just walk away, right? And exit trades early. Even if I'm looking for 5 to 10 points, I would sometimes take 6 points. I would sometimes take 4 points. Sometimes I would take 2 mini contracts, be up 3 points. That's $125. I'm out of the trade, right? So it's very discretionary, that style of trading, and it's very unique to its own individual trader. Versus playing something like this where you're necessarily not trying to scalp, just a handful of points. You're kind of looking for that bigger move or a bigger pullback or a stronger rejection. You can allow these trades to wiggle. You can allow these trades to dance. You can take less size and not get as hurt if you're wrong, to actually see the trade play out. So, and it's taken a lot of stress off of me, to be honest. So I'm looking at 18,287. If that gets confirmed, it's playing out exactly the way I wanted to see this play out. We'll have to see if it confirms. Hopefully, maybe the next 15-minute candle during lunch gets a little bit of confirmation. Again, I'm not looking for a pullback all the way down to 18,200. That would be nice, but I know that I'm going to hit a little bit of a snag spot here. Look at the wicks here, going back to 7 a.m. to 7:30. We have a wick here, we have a wick here, we have a wick here. So this is a triple bottom here on these 3 15-minute candles. I would expect this level to hold up here at 242. That last spike there, again, definitely anyone who was trying to get short early probably got stopped out and ran on that. This to me is still putting in a lower high here, so just sit patient. Here's your high, here's your lower high. Unless this current candle closes over the previous swing high here, the pressure is still going to be remaining to the downside. I'd like to see if this plays out here during lunch. Let me show you an example too, right? Because I'm not in, I want to take I'm in dire need to take a trade right now. Let me show you a situation where you could have caught this bounce. Okay, so get down into a 2-minute time frame, right? We've got our bigger macro levels here. Get down into a 2-minute time frame. You can use a 1 minute, doesn't really matter. Look at the pullback. Okay, look at the pullback. Look at the pullback. Look at the pullback. Look at what happens when we tested 18,291 at 844. So this is about 15 minutes ago. Look at what happened. Hammer candle. Failure to create a new low. Failure to create a new low. Stop loss goes here. Very simple. Stop loss goes there. As soon as this range gets taken out, you go long. So you should have been long over 305. That's 100 points. Does that make sense? This is a 100-point bounce. Pulled all the way back into your 291. Hammer candle, hold, failure to go lower. What the hell is going on now? Look at this market. What the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on here? Well, with that being said, I mean, this is just proving that this was the better play here. This was the better play. The market was not going to pull back. The market was going to just break and retest the 291, fucking hold for 125 points. Jesus Christ. We're in a big range now. Look at, I mean, the big range that we're in now. I mean, this let's take this crap off the screen. The range now, whoops. Look at this move. All the way up to 18,660. 18,660. Wow. Let me ask a question. Was anyone looking for a long off of 291? Thursday's high. Can someone double check Thursday's high price, please? This is going to be a key level here. I'm looking at Tuesday into Wednesday overnight session, and I'm looking at Thursday's high, 525. Can anyone cross-reference that with me? This might be a level of interest here, guys. 525. Because this low from Wednesday, this overnight low from Tuesday into Wednesday, and Thursday's high all matching up. I've got a zone here. I've 100% got a zone here. Multiple touch points in this zone. Thursday high, 660. Why am I off? Why am I off? Why am I off? Oh no, not Thursday. What is this? Sunday? What is this day here? What the hell is this? What the hell day is it today? Today's Tuesday, right? Yesterday was Monday. What is this? This is Thursday into Sunday? Why am I getting this high? 415? No. Whoops. 415 is the close high. I got a wick here. I got a wick here at 18,526. Does anyone see this here? You see that right there? This is Thursday. This is Thursday. The wick, 526. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at that rejection point followed by the sell-off into Sunday's open, into Monday's price. I'm looking at this wick here. And if I zoom out, right? If I zoom out, look at what the hell we did over here on Wednesday. Look at this Wednesday low. right? And look at the overnight lows. Tagged it, tagged it, tagged it, tagged it, big spike, tagged it, big spike, flushed it, and that opened up the floodgates. Going here into Thursday, flushed, bounced, got rejected right here in that zone. So this is going to be significant today. Let's extend this box. So let's extend this box. So sometimes, you know, you notice something intraday and you can put a level, a zone on your chart. That way it plays out. We're going to extend this box. This supply. This would be a perfect spot for a fucking short today. The market could just ramp up another 100 points, another 80 points, and get rejected here. That would be perfect. All right, guys. I don't know if it's going to get there, but that would be nice. Still no red candle closes on a 30 minute. Good on the bulls here by actually reclaiming a previous day's high, right? First time in a long time that we've reclaimed a previous day high and builded upon it. Whether the move's going to hold or not, I don't know. Yesterday's pullback brought us right into our golden pocket range. It brought us right into the 61.8. So you could almost anticipate that a bounce was coming between 17,695 and 17,470. This range down here was telling you that a bounce was coming. And speaking of that, I have options on. I've got an option on. They're looking good. So I'm looking at this level here, 18,500, 18,498. 526 RTH high. Okay, so good. It's as long as someone else is matching up with this 1826 or this 526. Now I wouldn't be chasing this move, guys, if you're not already long. I would just let it go, right? I would let it go. Your area to maybe get in was when we confirmed like any pullback that takes out a prior swing high. Do we understand that like that thought process? Like when you can't, like, let's say you missed this whole move, you can't chase green candles. You need a pullback and you need new price to take out a prior swing high. The same thing when we put in this low here, I needed a bounce and I needed a new candle to take out the new low, right? I needed a bounce, needed the candle to take out a low. Same thing with the longs. You can't just chase candles. Like you can't chase this candle. Your last long was over 386. It was 50 points ago. So, you know, sometimes people start to wonder, well, should we be getting long here? Well, you should have been long over 396. You know, that would be my question. Why didn't you get long over 396? If you want to go long, why didn't you get long over 396? That's my question. So you're getting some consolidation up here. Was there a reason? Was there any reason for this spike other than just spiking just to spike? Because that's what the market does, is we just swing 100 points up and down on the drop of a hat. This is flagging here to the top side. 18,450 would have room to 18,500. I don't expect this to travel much more higher than between 500 and 540 if it continues. But again, you know, I could be wrong, but I wouldn't expect it to get too much over 520, 550. That would be another 100 points. That'd take us up about 3.5%. Now, again, you know, the last time we seen something crazy like this was the day that Trump announced the 60-day tariffs, where essentially we went up 2,000 fucking points, right? I don't think that this price action is that kind of day, but it's definitely good to see for the bulls. Since they've been getting absolutely steamrolled, right? The only thing that is, we are green in the markets, right? But like Nvidia right now is up 2%. But like, look at Nvidia. Like, look at Nvidia, guys. Nvidia's just been consolidating all day, right? It's green. It's up 2%, but a lot of that work was done in the pre-market. It's not really doing anything. Nvidia has room to 100. I'd like to see Nvidia get over 100. You know, look at something like AMD, right? Something like AMD consolidating. Consolidating. It's not pressing highs, right? Let's see something like Meta. Meta, big push. So Meta is, you know, the Nasdaq is tailing what Meta's move is, right? Big move on Meta, but nothing from the semis so far, right? Microsoft, big move. Okay, big move. Google, big move, right? Big move here. Apple, big move. Okay, so when we talk about the mags, right? When we talk about the mags, what's Meta doing? Meta's big move. I already looked at that. Big move on Meta. Big move on those stocks, but the semis are what's dragging ass, right? Like, let's look at the semis. SMH, barely starting to get a breakout here. Whoops. Barely starting to get a breakout, right? Semis are dragging ass. This market can rocket if the semis get their asses in order. Clack is a semi. Look at this thing. Not doing a fucking thing, right? What else? Oh gosh. QCOM, Qual, not doing anything. The semis are dragging us ass. The semis are dragging ass right now. Everything else is exploding. Tesla has earnings today. Look at Tesla. Absolutely exploding, right? Tesla had a beautiful breakout over pre-market highs today, right into 234, broke over 234, back tested. This is my A+ setup. A+ setup. 30-minute candle confirms a level of supply. Boom. Back test that level of supply. Confirms the high. 237 to 241. I would have not held it till 241. I would have sold here at 240. This is picture perfect. You know, to be honest, I would have taken the pre-market high into 234 over 231, but that's neither here nor there. This is a perfect setup here. Break, retest, go. Get familiar with these patterns. Break, retest, go. Right? The market repeats itself, guys. The only thing that changes in the market is the volatility, is the range. That's the only thing that changes. Yes, some days the ranges is small. Some days the ranges are much bigger. But the setups and the patterns and the behavior, I guess is the right word. That's the word I'm looking for. The behavior of the market never changes. You confirm one area of supply, it tends to gravitate towards the next area of supply. You break an area of supply, you fail to hold, you fall below, it tends to go to the next area of demand. So the behavior of the market never changes, just the range does. Let's go back to the NQ here. I'm curious right now to see what this NQ does as we approach 500. That's going to be a big spot there. We're only about 40 points away. Something with China. I didn't even see this. Text posted it up. U.S. Treasury President sees de-escalation with China situation. That's all it takes. That's all it takes is one Fed member to make one comment about China. There's no facts that are out yet that are telling us anything with China has been resolved, that China has caved, that we've made a deal. The only thing that happened here today was U.S. Treasury Secretary Bassett sees de-escalation with China. Unsustainable. That's it. So it's not even like really good news. That was horrible news. Right? I mean, it's not even like it's nothing. But the dude's got the juice. You know? This Bassett guy's got the juice. Right? Think about it, guys. Again, where am I getting this level from? This 500s level? This wick here on Thursday, rejection, sell off into the overnight, into the extended hours on Sunday, and also that pre-market, right? That overnight low, that was a big area here for that big flush. This is a big key area here. A big key area. Bulls have done a fantastic job, but the bulls are also super extended right now. Okay. Do I see the bulls breaking through 525, 550 today and screaming towards 650? Absolutely not. Does one headline change that? Absolutely. But if I can get a push into this supply, drop down to a small time frame, see some type of high wick or a doji or an inverse hammer, is there opportunity to short this and pick up maybe 20, 30, 40 points? Absolutely. What do I need to do? I need to be patient, right? I can't chase this long. I can't chase this long. We had plenty of opportunities with the break and hold over 291. We had plenty of opportunities over 388. Right now here trading at 450, there's absolutely nothing to do. Okay? There's nothing to do here. You had 2 opportunities to go long within the last hour. If you didn't take those opportunities or you did not see those opportunities, that's okay. It's fine. You don't need to seek counseling over it. But just identify that for next time. Right? I did not participate in any of this long move to the top side. I was actually looking at the pullback and I was waiting for a lunchtime confirmation of 291. And fucking didn't happen, right? Fucking market bounced 100 points. So, go figure that, right? Market left me for about 150 points. But that is what it is, guys. That's going to happen, right? That's going to happen to you. You know, if I was more in a mindset where I'm actively trying to grow the P&L today and actively trying to take trades, oh, I would have fired a half dozen longs. I would have fired a half dozen longs in and out. But I'm on protection mode right now, right? I'm up 272 now across 4 accounts, which is not a lot by any stretch of the means. But you know, let's call it 300, right? Times 4 accounts. It's about a $1,200 day on unfunded. So I'm good with that. But again, do I enjoy a cherry on top of the sundae? Sure. I think we all do, right? You know, one more trade wouldn't be nice. But the thing is that when you are green, you do want to be super, super cautious though. You know, like I might not trade all 4 of these accounts that I traded on the next setup. I might just trade 1. See, Elder's got the right idea. Everyone enjoys a little cherry on top. Fully expect this move to tag 400s, 500s. Doji candle on the 5. Still showing strength on a 2-minute. I hate this bubble that shows me the high price here. Irritates the fuck out of me. There we go. A pullback into a pullback into 400 would be fantastic. Pullback into 390s, 380s would be fucking great. Just get this into 500s anywhere and show me a reversal. That's all I'm looking for. And keep the headlines quiet for 30 minutes so I can make money. That's it. I don't need anyone else saying that, you know, we worked out a deal with China. Not now. Work it out tomorrow. Here's a push into 500s. Here's your push into 500s. Who's been long on this? I know some of you guys fired some longs. $200 on the hour chart. Elder, what's the 200 price at? What is the exact price of that 200? Hammer candle here. $485. 485, and we tagged 492. So we swept the 200. If we fail to close over the 200 and show weakness through a previous candle low, we could use the high price as a stop. Risky, but we can do it. I wanted to see 500s get tagged though. It's got some juice. It's got some juice. Yeah, it's definitely trying. Testing the 10 daily SMA. Let's pop that on the chart. That might be good as well. Where the fuck is my daily at? Come on. Testing that daily 10, guys. Look at how that daily 10 is matching up exactly with that zone I just drew. Look at that. If you guys don't believe in technical analysis by now, we've got some issues. I mean, this level, this 291 level that we backtested perfectly before this thing wanted to shoot up 200 frickin' points, it's been on the chart since yesterday, right? It's not like we just made it up out of thin air. Daily 10 is right here. So we're testing the daily 10-day moving average. Any close over the daily 10-day moving average, expect a pullback tomorrow off the open. Any hold, right? Look for rising support to hold and then go long, right? Then go long. That's for tomorrow. We're getting rejected at the daily 10. I would expect this to get rejected first. I want to see this break into my zone. I should probably move it like this. I want to see this break into my zone. Hammer candle here. I'm on a 2-minute chart here. First test of the daily 10. You're short 491. Fuck, I should have been short with you. I'm waiting for the next 2-minute candle, Elder. I need to see the next 2-minute candle. I'm going to be joining you shortly here. So this is closed over our daily 10 on a 2-minute time frame. That's fine. If we lose the daily 10 again and close under it, and then you confirm, that's going to be our short. How much it's going to give us, I don't know. The market's pretty fucking strong here. But this whole zone here, I'm okay. I'm okay with this zone, right? I'd be okay with this zone. Here's that test, that break, and it's fighting with it. It's definitely fighting with it. Rejection here would be fantastic. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. If we can see an exhaustion candle here and a close back below this daily 10, we'll be in pretty good shape. Our rising 2-minute support is way down here at 417. So we haven't even tested support since we had that big explosion candle. That was already 30 minutes ago. Time flies. 30 minutes ago when we had that big explosion candle, we have not come back to test our daily, our rising intraday support. You know, could I make a case? Let me see the 5 SMA. 5 SMA is way up here. If we get back down below this daily 10 and we close below our 5 SMA, that's probably going to be a good trigger to go short. Elder, hang tight here. They're going to take you for a little bit of a ride here on this blow off. This blow off here is probably going to be the last wave. This sits below 530s. I wouldn't panic. They're going to try to squeeze every last ounce out of this before they get this to come down a little bit. They're going to test those emotions. Yeah, they're going to test you out right here. This is where traders can tend to get shaken. Again, if this explodes 30, 40, 50 points from here, you know, I don't know what to say, but again, that was a shake there. Look at the candle here. Look at the candle here. We got 50 seconds here before this 2-minute candle closes. We're breaking down. We're breaking down below the 10. We're breaking down below our 5. The 5 SMA I use as a power trend, guys. So trading above it, you know, you typically want to kind of, you know, watch it closely. We get below this power trend and we close below this daily 10. Next candle can open up and confirm the lows. We'll be in pretty good shape here for a quick scalp to the short side at this key level. We got a very, very significant key level here at, you know, it's bouncing around a little bit, but let's call it 495. There we go. We're getting some jumpy candles here. Very, very jumpy candles. The volatility is picking up here. Oh, with minis, 100%. 100% no, right? It's impossible. Okay, getting the breakdown below our power trend. We're getting the breakdown below the daily 10. I want to see this thing stay below it though, right? I want to see this stay below. We got 20 seconds here on this 2-minute candle closure. It's gonna battle it out, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is gonna go up and down here for a little bit. Closed below our 5, closed below our daily 10. Any pop here that stays below this previous high, short is going to look okay. This thing starts to pop over this high here, we're going to be in some trouble. These sons of guns, man, I swear. These guys don't want to let it go. Just give us a little bit here, guys. We're not asking for much, right? Oh, it's always risky to trade these reversals. Yeah, 100%, because we're definitely going against a freight train here, right? But we just try to go against a freight train at some decent spots to where we can kind of limit that risk. We're not just going to pick a short anywhere here on an uptrend. We definitely want to pick our spots accordingly. We do got some wicks to the high side here, but I don't like that we're not pushing down. I don't like that we're not really staying below this daily 10. There we go. Let's see. We got to hold it down here, right, guys? We got to hold down below, 495. That's what we need to see. Here we go, Elder. Starting to ramp up a little bit. We need to see this thing hold, though, right? We need to see this thing hold. Beautiful. There we go. Come on. Come on, baby. I want to see this son of a bitch stay down here. My entry price is 494, so I'm up about 15 points here. Okay. Break into these 70s for me? It's not going to do it, huh? '79's got traded. I want to see it hold below 80. Break and hold under 80 here. There we go. Stay below 80. There we go. Up 20 points here, guys. I'm out. I'm just going to take a quick 20, guys. I'm just worried about just stacking up. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out as well. Elder, we're going to look back at the chart. This thing is going to be trading at 300. It's going to be down 100 points. But again, it is what it is, guys. That's just a situation there where you want to, you're not trying to step in front of the freight train. We understand that the pressure is to the long side. We know that, right? Buyers showed up today. Great. So I'm not trying to pick any candle and just go short at every high. I want to see us come into some type of supply. I want to show some type of pause, like we're slowing down a bit, right? Which we started to get here. We started to slow down a little bit. The ranges of these candles started to slow down. We've got a high wick here. We're failing to kind of bust above. It's flirting with this daily 10. Gets below our power trend. Now we can fire short using the high of day as a stop, and we can kind of just sit in that and ride this thing until we take profits. Now, again, me and Elder took 15, 20, 25 points, whatever the hell it is we took. I think I took close to 20 points on this thing. But what's going to happen, guys, this thing's going to pull back another 100 points on us, and we would have made all kinds of money, right? But again, when you're profitable and you're in the green, you have to protect. Okay? So it's just like what I said about 30 minutes ago. We're just looking for a little cherry on top, I'm not trying to be greedy here. Would it be great to make $1,000 on this one particular trade? Sure, right? But I've got to control what I can control. I can control taking those 20 points. I can for sure lock that up. I can for sure add to my balance. We're up about $400 here across 4 accounts. And that's a fantastic day. That's great. We log that in. We do this all tomorrow, because guess what? We're going to have another set of price action, another set of levels to trade tomorrow. At least a couple to 3, 4 different setups tomorrow, and we'll be able to try to take advantage of those. Again, your pressure is down as long as you're below this daily 10. If anyone is holding short here, as long as you're below your daily 10, you're all right. Which right now your daily 10 is sitting at 494. So as long as you're trading below 494, just hold this SOB until you get paid, right? Take your profits though. Any closure back over 494, just get the hell out of the trade. At that point in time, you can actually drop your stop loss from the high of day 515 down to like 495. And then you can just kind of keep tailing it, right? But again, take profits. If anyone is short, if anyone got short with me and Elder, please come out green on this, guys. Come out green on this. Did anyone else go short? Anyone else go short with me and Elder? I'm gonna flip this power trend back into our 20 so we can see where support's at. Right here, we just lost that 20 support. Nice. You still holding it? Did you grab the gains? This thing will probably come all the way back down to 385. Whatever. It is what it is, right, guys? I mean, again, we're not perfect. We're not perfect. Look at it go though. I'm going to tell you guys this though. I am going to log off right now in about 2 minutes, because if I continue to watch this go down 100 points, I'm going to be absolutely pissed. Look at it go. Did we time the top or what? Look at it go. 440s. I was in it 95. That's 50 fucking points. Oh shit. Anyways, it is what it is, guys, you know. That's trading, right? Like that's a prime example right there where I take 20, I could have took 50, right? But I mean, again, did I know, like, do I know that it's going to go down 50 points? Do I know that it's going to come back down here, let's say 380? I don't know that, right? The damn thing could have went down 10 points and shot back up through high of day, the way the price has been trading, right? So the only thing that's for certain is what you do, right? That's the only thing that's for certain. So, you know, but I know that I can find these 20, 30 point trades on a day in and day out basis. And, you know, I only need a couple of them, right? Like I just need to find a couple good spots. And the whole thing here was just to wait. Again, if I'm a lunatic, I could have, you know, scalped this in and out long. I could have tried to go short. I could have went short, long. I could have done all kinds of crazy stuff. Maybe I could have made more money. Maybe I would have made less money. I don't really know. But patience pays, right? This is a prime example where, for me, I'm speaking for myself, I missed this move, right? I missed this move. I was already long from way back here. Like I was long way back over here, right? So my long day was done. Okay. My long day was done. You know, so this is a prime example where you can sit patient. You can miss the move. It's okay. You don't got to feel like you're going to, you know, lose sleep over it, and just wait for the next setup. You knew a pullback was coming. You knew it. You know, you knew it. At some point in time, it was going to come. Catch the next move. So I hope this was a pretty good session. I hope you guys took something away from it. Hope you guys got to see some stuff here and hear some thought process be played out in real time. But I mean, that's trading. That is trading, right? You never know if the move is going to work. Sometimes it gets a little sticky. Sometimes you got to sweat it out a little bit. But all in all, you got to trust your levels. You got to trust your research, right? If you don't trust your levels and you don't trust your technical analysis, you're dead, right? You're dead, you know? So with that being said, guys, I'm going to cut this off. I did record this session, so I'll upload it. That way, if anyone wants to go back and watch it at the end of the day, you can. But that'll be it for me, guys. I'm done. Yeah, we got no losing trades. That's another thing. I hate how, because I scale in and out of micros, it's showing that I took 7 trades today. I really didn't take 7 trades. But yeah, we are 100% win rate on the day today, guys. So beautiful. Beautiful. Average trade time today was 5 minutes. Longest trade time today was 10 minutes. Take care, guys. Be easy. Don't do anything foolish. If you're green, walk away, guys. You know, you're going to get another opportunity to make more money tomorrow. So with that being said, I'm going to cut it off here, and I'll catch you guys all in the room.